Welcome. I'm Michael Sisk in the FIT Year 3 group at Cleveland Community College, and this will give you an idea of the tremendous amount of information that I have learned to use, or at least beginning to use, in technology. Even though I'm a technology instructor by profession, there's always something new. There are some new concepts, new toys, actually new hardware, software out there that can be so beneficial. Among those benefits, after I click in the right area, is a wonderful concept and or tool called inking. I was able to take my online papers where normally I had to give feedback in writing or verbally to a very highly visual audience of students, and now I can do this visually. In this example, I've been able to very clearly show my student why their link to the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco on their webpage doesn't work, and giving them the visual situation by circling the words and pictures and making corrections there. Spreadsheets have been absolutely wonderful, where I could take a test and not only give them the feedback, but I could point in the specific areas on the spreadsheets where the mistakes or omissions have been. It could be programming such as HTML, where I can put in the actual tags that are missing or that are out of order. In the case of homework, I could go into something like my Java class right here and give some very detailed feedback, and it's just better on the paper rather than having to put it as an aside in my Blackboard feedback. And of course, shamelessly, I'm able to use the technology, and especially something called Snagit, to do a keyboard ad for our former Christmas concert with 6 keyboards. I was less present on Posteris.com, where we had the community concept of being able to share with each other. I'm not very good at that, and part of that is my aberration regarding Blackboard discussion boards, where many people use them, in my opinion, very abusively for busy work and attendance rather than for what they're meant to be, to encourage a community of discussion. But I did employ something else that's an alternative to it, and this is something called early.com, ERLY.com. This is just playing right now, hence the oodly doodly that's on the screen, but it gives my students a chance to post to a site, almost a wiki-style site. I do something called an event, and then have students add to it. So I could conceptually look at this as saying, maybe I want students to post an image, a video, some text, or a combination of all of them that show what they've learned. One concept they've learned maybe in chapter 1 of a hardware section of my computer class. And then I have a big magazine-style thread that goes with it. So it has a little bit of a spin to it. I think my early college students especially are going to really like this. I even became brave enough to form my own channel, or create my own channel in YouTube. And I've done this with my math class at Central Piedmont this semester, but I will be doing it with my Math 140 classes at CCC this summer as well, where if a student just has tremendous difficulties with Blackboard, they can go into YouTube and watch my videos from there, where I'm explaining something like models for point and slope. And I'm less concerned that they have only 4 views. I don't need 7,000 views because I'm doing this for a smaller audience. Evernote was an absolute godsend, and as soon as I find it, I'll show this to you. And what I really liked about Evernote was the fact that I could record conferences and meetings. I could record the audio-video part, I could make pictures, I could take notes, and it came in very handy. I need a plug-in for this particular notebook item, but I was able to work it out very easily. And of course, I couldn't have done without the iPad, where I've done a lot of things. I was able to help us form the first app or iPad band at our Christmas concert, and I played Holiday Bells. Of course, sometimes there were these wonderful diversions with something called Angry Birds, and now we have Angry Birds in outer space. All work and no play, after all, makes Mike a dull boy. I read my first ebook ever, believe it or not, through the apps. And I read the one called The Hunger Games. This is page 1, and I saw the movie, which I highly recommend. And now the end is near, but only in terms of a FIT group. The technology and the teaching will continue. So I say to you goodbye in this format. Thanks for everything.